Hey everyone, it's Tony with 3D Locksport, and I have a new release today. I want to talk about the item that first inspired me to release this product. It's by a person named Blake. They are a lock sporter. I actually had the opportunity and pleasure of working with them at one of the DEF CON lockpicking villages. And afterwards I checked out one of his Thingiverse accounts. And what he had on there was this item right here. And the purpose of this item was to teach people how lockpicking worked, or not how, but more specifically why it works. And if you've been in locksport long enough, you'll know that the reason pins bind is that due to small manufacturing errors, they can never perfectly line up the pins at a microscopic level. They're always offset just a little bit due to tolerances in manufacturing. Now, Blake's design purposely exaggerates that offset so it's obvious to people. And what his tool did is it had this slide that would represent kind of the core of the lock. And there's a slot along the side, and you would slide this in, and what you would do is you would hit the first pin, and a user would see that all these are still springy. But this one is not. It's binding up because I'm pushing in on this white card or the core. And what would happen is I push this down, and it allows the core to rotate a little bit more. And then you go through and realize that, oh, that was binding, so now it's down. This one's still springy, this one's binding, and now that one's on, and now the lock is picked. And all it was to do is to let a new lock picker understand exactly how lock picking is possible because of binding order. So I really like this design, and I thought it was a great educational tool. So I reached out to Blake and I asked him if he'd be okay with me selling this model on my website. And he graciously agreed to let me sell it on his website. And I was going to do that, but then I took a moment and thought about it. And there was a few improvements to this design that I wanted to make. One, I wanted it to be more clear exactly what this is, that it's a lock. And two, this only allows me to show binding order in one direction, because anyone who's picked a lock that can be turned either clockwise or counterclockwise realizes that depending on which way you pick that lock, the binding order changes. So I took this inspiration from this design and I came up with my own product, which I'm now releasing, and it's going to be called the Educational Pin Binder. It comes in a package exactly like our educational lock. This way it has a consistent look and feel for all of our educational products. So let's go ahead and open this up, take a look inside, and I'll show you what it is. So this is the Educational Pin Binder. It's got a quick set style key as the front for you to turn with. I went with a round body so it felt more like a lock. I kept the same exact colors that would be represented on the educational lock, so you can talk back and forth. So the body's black, the core is white, and technically, although it doesn't look that way, these are driver pins right here, and these driver pins are red just like they are on my lock. Now, obviously this is inverted a bit, and we have to use our imagination because it's hard to see up into the lock. But the idea here is that it's got a flat bottom, so you can set it flat on a table, so it's easy to manipulate. You hold it on the sides, and you can show that you can't open the lock because the pins are there. But as soon as we turn it sideways, if I start clicking these, this pin is springy, this pin is springy, this pin is springy, this one is not. It's binding. And as soon as I press this down, the lock can rotate just a little bit, just a little bit. And now I can come through and I can start feeling these pins again. These two are springy, this one's now binding. So I press it down and I rotate even more. And now I come back and I'm like, this pin is still springy, this one's binding, and now the last pin is binding, and now the lock opens. So it's a really good way to demonstrate to new lock pickers or people just getting into locksport why lockpicking works with the idea of pin binding. Just like Blake's design, I exaggerated the offset of the pins as to represent the manufacturing errors. The one key difference here is you saw when I turn it this way, the binding order on this is 2, 4, 3, 1. And you can explain that to a new picker that if I pick it counterclockwise, the first pin used to be 2, but now that's springy. Now 1, which was the last binder, is now the first binder here. 3 is the next binder. 4 and then 2. So it lets people have a better understanding that depending on which way you pick a lock, your binding order may change. So this has a really nice construction. It cannot come apart unless you want to take it apart. You are able to. There's just a small bolt down here in the bottom that rides along in a channel that makes it so you don't accidentally turn the lock too far. And it also just gives a dead stop, just like it would on a deadbolt. But if you needed to, for some reason, you can take this bolt out. The whole white piece slides out. There's a sleeve around the white piece, and that holds the pins inside. And this has 4 springs in it. They're the same springs that are inside a ballpoint pen. And I actually got that idea from Blake. Blake's original idea, he used 4 ballpoint pen springs. And I took that same concept and brought that over to my product. So I want to give a big thanks to Blake for the inspiration with this product and for giving me permission to sell this if I wanted to. But I think this design will help better clearly explain to new pickers how this works, and the fact that it shows you both clockwise and counterclockwise and how the binding order changes, I think is going to be super beneficial to new pickers. This is exactly the same price as our educational lock and pins, so it's $24.99 on our website. It's available right now, just like the educational lock. Quantities are based on inventory. This isn't a print on demand. They all come in this color combination. And there is an inventory limit just to the fact that I have to keep inventory of the springs. It's not like the limited edition lock. I will restock this if I run out, but there are limited edition. I think at the time this is going live, there'll be 25 in stock. I have enough springs to make more. I just need to print more. And as soon as I get a low stock, I will print more of those. It'll come in the bag just like this with the sticker that tells you what it is on side. So you can store this. Not that there's pieces that are going to fall out here, but it's just nice to protect it from scratches or things like that. And it's also nice just to throw in your backpack and you know what this is by pulling out the label, looking at it, and not having it bang around other things. So you can go to 3dlocksport.com. Again, it's called the Educational Pin Binder, and I hope this helps you guys better explain lockpicking to new people or demonstrate it on your YouTube channels. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Like the video if you like it, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.